Hey, my name is Drew, aka Booty Sweat. And if you found this video, it might be because you heard about MK11 Ultimate and the fact that we're going to be able to use custom variations in competitive play now. So whether or not you're just now getting into the game, or maybe you're getting back into the game, or maybe you just have never played customs at all, you've just only have done competitive variations, I kind of wanted this to be a one-stop shop for some characters that I know how to play. I don't know how to play every character in the cast, so I'm not going to make a guide for every character, but I will make a guide for the ones that I know, starting with my main boy, Baraka. So this is going to kind of be a little bit of a tutorial on how to set up a competitive custom variation for Baraka. And if you enjoy this kind of content, if you like tutorials, fighting game matches, hardware reviews, whatever else, then make sure you like and subscribe. Other than that, let's just get right into it. For the first variation I want to talk about, I'm actually bringing back what for me is an old classic. It's from way back when I played the closed beta of this game back in like March of 2019, and that is running Gutted, which is this move, this little grab move with the stab, and Spine Burst, which is down back 3, which replaces his Chop Chop move. You can see it does a pretty solid 9% just in hitting. The reason this variation is really kind of cool is because it gives you all of the stuff that Gutted gives you, all of the big combo damage and everything else. You know, you get all of that juicy damage with the Gutted move, and it really helps extend combos and do tons and tons of damage. And really, you're going to see almost all of these variations we go over are going to have Gutted in them, because I think overall it's probably Baraka's best move. So in addition to Gutted, you also get this move Spine Burst, which originally was part of Baraka's Bone Picker variation. He got that along with Blade Lunge, and Blade Lunge is incompatible with Gutted because they both take up 2 slots. But I think this combination of moves is really good. For one, you can still use Spine Burst in like corner combos and stuff for ridiculous damage. I mean, that's still about 40% just right there. Of course, you can always end with Gutted again to get even more damage. So it's a really good combo move anyway. But another really cool thing about this move is that it is probably, in my opinion, one of the best anti-airs in the game. The hitbox on this thing is ridiculous. And so you can see here I have D'Vorah jumping now, and look at the hitbox on this. It's ridiculous. Look how high it hits them in the air, first of all. So if you react to a jump, you're going to hit them way out of their jump. Not only that, but you can see Baraka kind of crouches down when he does it. That actually will allow him to beat most jump-in moves, like a jump-in 1 or a jump-in 3 or whatever they're using. You're going to be able to hit them with this. It's going to take some practice for you to be able to react to it, but in a game where anti-airs aren't really that great, generally, I mean, you know, some characters have an easy time anti-airing. Baraka's not really one of them unless you use his down 2. But this move is crazy good for an anti-air. So between this and Gutted, I mean, you're running not only a set that gets big damage off combos, but also that can really harass an opponent that's trying to zone or trying to jump. Imagine like Cabal or Sub-Zero doing their jumping projectiles over and over again. You can hit them out of it every time. So overall, this is probably my favorite custom Baraka variation. I don't know that it's the best, but oh, there's one more thing. Let me show you this too. So you can see here I have D'Vorah blocking. Well, with Chop Chop, you actually are pretty punishable on block, but with Spine Burst, well, there you go. You're getting a ton of pushback on block, which can really keep them at bay pretty well. So yeah, with this variation, I mean, you're really an anti-airing threat. You get big damage in the corner. You still get big damage with Baraka even at mid-screen because he's Baraka, so obviously. But yeah, I really like this variation. Definitely you should try it out. Alright, for variation 2, I still have Gutted, but I also added Blade Charge instead of Spine Burst this time. So, Gutted and Blade Charge being in the same variation is actually really good, and I'll show you why. So normally in Baraka's variation that has Gutted, it's kind of hard to open people up and really get that Gutted combo going, the extended Gutted combo going, and when you do, you always run the risk of them using a breakaway like this. And so you end up having to just end there, or maybe end with a down 2, like a dash up down 2 or whatever. And you kind of have to guess, and they can basically make you take way less damage than you could just by virtue of them having a breakaway. Well, Blade Charge is actually Baraka's armor breaking move. So pairing that with Gutted is pretty impressive. Check that out. That is sick. So if they do the breakaway, you're getting a bunch of damage anyway. So you're getting a cool 32% almost, whereas if they manage to do the breakaway successfully, you're getting how much? 290, you're getting 29%, so you're getting a solid extra couple percent of damage. And in addition to that, I mean, I know that might not seem that impressive, but in addition to that, Blade Charge has a crushing blow if you manage to use it while someone is breaking away. Look at that damage. That's almost 50%. You punish your opponent for using breakaway for almost 50% damage. Let's look at that again. %, basically. So really that's all there is to this variation that I think is cool. Obviously you have all the rest of his moves. You get Chop Chop back with this as well. I still have him set to breakaway, but with the ability to break their armor and get a 50% crushing blow, they basically have to make a choice. Do they use their breakaway and get hit anyway and lose 50% of their health, or do they let you finish the combo and take like 40% plus whatever bleeding damage, which I think ends up adding up to like another 47 or 48%. It's a really cool thing. And then of course you can end with Chop Chop once you don't have any meter or whatever else, once you're ready to start ending with big damage combos. So having all three of these abilities together, I know Chop Chop's not an equipable ability, but being able to have Gutted, Chop Chop, and then having that armor breaker move is just way too sick in my opinion. You gotta try it out. It's way too much fun. Okay, and for the third variation, this is the one variation where I did get rid of Gutted. So Gutted is on all the other variations that I'm playing right now. And this one I replaced Gutted with Leg Kebab and then put Blade Lunge back in. So again, if you know the Bone Picker variation, the Spine Burst was on it earlier. That's one of those, and then Blade Lunge, which is this move, is on it as well. And so Blade Lunge is a pretty good move. It's a command grab, so it cannot be blocked, and they have to be neutral ducking in order to avoid it. So you can be neutral ducked into a down 2, for instance. So as you can see, if I try to use it while Liu Kang is ducking, oops, that was dumb, then I'm not gonna get it. And of course, as we know, I didn't make the AI do this, but we all know what's gonna happen if I do that. If he's neutral ducking expecting it, then I'm probably going to get down 2 crushing blowed, right? So how do we counteract this? Well, that's why I brought Leg Kebab into the mix. It's performed the same way as Gutted, only this one, it acts as a low, so it has to be blocked low. So this actually gives Baraka a true 50-50. And so see, you can't really combo into Blade Lunge, but you can stagger into it to really throw your opponent off. But what if instead of staggering into this, Maybe they start ducking it, then you're going to whiff. But what if you stagger into leg kebab instead? Then they're going to get hit with the leg kebab. And the leg kebab is no slouch. I mean, it does pretty fair amount of damage. You can also amplify it for more damage. So this variation, I don't think it's as good as the other two that we went over thus far, but it actually gives Baraka a real 50-50 in that you can really mess your opponent up. If they start ducking to avoid blade lunge, well, then you hit them with the leg kebab. Say they start blocking low for the leg kebab, well, then you can hit them with the blade lunge and it'll hit them because they're blocking. So, and of course you can combo into leg kebab for a restand. So another thing to keep in mind is that both of these moves actually have crushing blow requirements, and so you can get really powerful crushing blows just by mixing your opponent up. So say you get them stand blocking for whatever reason, you've got them stand blocking from doing overheads or jump-ins or whatever, and you eventually decide to throw in a leg kebab. Well, if you get them while they're stand blocking, you'll actually, and you amplify, you'll actually hit them with a crushing blow, which does a nice little chunk of damage and then makes them bleed for a while. So you see, just off of that one move, you got probably a little over 30% of their health. So that's pretty good. And in order to get the blood lunge, that's this move, all you have to do is hit them with it when they're in the middle of a get up roll. And again, you see that bleed damage. So this one's actually kind of hard to get because you're relying on your opponent using a get up roll, and you have to really read it because you have to be at a very specific distance. Say I'm like here and I try to do it, I'm just gonna jump over him like that, you see? Even if I space it pretty well, excuse me, he doesn't have any meter, does he? Even if I space it really well and try to do it, or I try to do it on a backdash or whatever, I'm just gonna have a hard time hitting him from there. So really you're going to have to space it pretty well to where you kind of land on top of him or her during the get up roll animation. So that one can be a little tricky to get. You'll probably not get it that often, but it's just kind of a bonus to this move because really the move has a lot of utility other than that anyway. And I mean, you might get that crushing blow every once in a while, but you know, you don't really have to worry about it too much. Okay, for the next variation, we have restored gutted to Baraka, so we have that again. But we've also added a new move, and so I mentioned earlier that you get extra damage if you have the war banner out. Well, normally putting the war banner out, Baraka just kind of does it. He just plants it. It leaves him really unsafe, leaves him really vulnerable, but he has a move called Banner Bash in which he actually pulls it out and plants it. So this move is minus 19 on block, meaning it is pretty punishable, but look at the pushback on it. The pushback is pretty insane, so they're gonna kind of have a hard time punishing you from that range anyway. And once you have that thing out, I mean, the damage is insane. So let's take a look at a basic BNB from Baraka. Let's just say we go with that. 334, okay? Well, let's get the banner out. $384. So that's an additional 5% off of one combo because the banner is out. So having this move to help you reliably get the banner out, I don't know, overall I think this variation is a little bit gimmicky, but having that extra damage can really make a big difference. So say you have a person and you manage to hit them with the war banner into the corner or something, and then you hit them with a jump-in combo. I mean, you're looking at an obscene amount of damage. Just an absurd amount of damage. So really this is kind of a gimmicky one, but I think it's worth a try and it's kind of fun. Once you really blow up your opponent with a huge corner combo or something with this variation, you're gonna be hooked, I'm pretty sure. So again, we managed to get him, and then we get him with just a standard combo. That's just an obscene amount of damage. So anyway, well, that's it for this video. Hopefully you got something good out of it, and yeah, again, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Be blessed.